So again, not to reiterate, but this is serious. And just having this knowledge before you even start learning any techniques, knowing these targets is going to give you a huge leg up if you have to protect yourself in some kind of a violent street altercation, a home invasion. If you have to protect somebody, we're talking about a life or death situation, a life or death scenario which you cannot walk away from. Okay, we're not talking about a mutual combat like an ego fight over a parking spot or something like that. Those are all avoidable situations. Okay, this is an unavoidable violent situation that we're talking about here, where you may have to use this knowledge. Now, again, you have this center line, which again aesthetically divides the body into two halves of a whole. Now along that center line you have four primary targets that'll take virtually anybody out of a fight. Okay? Eyes, throat, the groin, and then the knees, which again are located on a relative or relative center line, which is going straight through the center of this appendage, this limb. Okay? Everything is a target. The whole human body is a target. These are the first four primary targets that'll take anybody out, regardless of whether they're trained, if they're athletic, if they're conditioned. You cannot condition your eyes, your throat, your groin. You cannot condition your knees. Now, right here in the abdomen, approximately 1.5 inches above the navel, you have a median point. You have this imaginary line here, which divides the body into an upper and a lower gate for the purpose of simplification. Okay? Now when you add that center line to that median line, you now have 4 quadrants, gates, or doors of attack and defense. Here, 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 and here. Okay? That's how this shit works. Now again, these are things that nobody's shown you guys, and I'm giving away to you because I want you to have the truth. So you got an upper gate and you have a lower gate here. Okay, you see how this is starting to take form here? Alright? Now you have an outer gate. Again, there's your high line. There's your low line. And then you have an inner gate. Okay, there's your high line. There's your low line. Alright? So what you're going to do is, anything coming in on a high line, you're going to deal with your hands. Alright? Anything on that upper gate, you're dealing with your hands. Anything on a lower gate, you deal with your feet. You don't reach down to block a low kick, ever. You don't take your hands away from this position here. Because once you take your hand off a gate, well, you're now unprotected. And now you know all it takes is one poke to the eyes, and that's it. At that point, you become prey. So again, we're gonna elaborate on this, but this is information that you need, and you need to understand before you can get started. Now, to elaborate on Centerline, there is also a projecting centerline, okay, which can be anywhere, like an aimer. Only one object, only one person can occupy center line at any given point in time. So the idea is you want to protect your vulnerable targets, and you want to exploit the anatomical weaknesses against that human anatomy in front of you. So the idea here is an aggressive defense. You protect yourself by attacking aggressively and dominating center line with unyielding, unrelenting forward pressure and aggression as it applies to attack, which is the very essence of the martial arts, which will contradict pretty much everything anybody has shown you before. There's no stepping back, there's no passivity, there's no defensive blocking. None of that shit works.